Now we have the 5-3-1 Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the 5-4 Los Angeles Chargers. This game is going to be played on NBC Sunday Night Football with a 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going into this game right now as a 5.5-point underdog against the Chargers. Now last week, Pittsburgh tied with the Detroit Lions 16-16. Really sloppy game from Pittsburgh. We know that they didn't have Ben Roethlisberger in that game, and a lot of people around the Steelers organization pretty much don't expect Big Ben to be able to play this week against the Los Angeles Chargers. He still could play in this game, but most likely, most people expect Big Ben not to be able to play in this game, and it looks like Mason Rudolph once again is going to remain the starter. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Chargers were defeated by the Minnesota Vikings last week, 27-20. Now, when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers defense last week, that had to be the worst defensive performance I've seen out of the Pittsburgh Steelers all year. And the reason for that was because all Detroit really did was run the football. There's literally a point in this game that Detroit's 2-minute offense was running the football. And it kind of didn't really make a lot of sense that Pittsburgh just wouldn't sell loud on trying to stop the run. Because you had Jared Goff was battling some kind of injury, which kind of limited Detroit's ability to kind of be balanced on the offense. They couldn't really find a rhythm in the pass game because Jared Goff wasn't 100%. So I was kind of disappointed with how the Steelers performed. I definitely feel like Joe Schobert and Devin Bush didn't play good. Also, like, they were pretty much the main catalyst for the reason why Pittsburgh struggled to stop the run. And when you're facing Austin Eckler, you definitely have to try to find a way to slow him down, because we know he does not only on the ground, but we also know that he is a pretty big threat in the passing game also, because they like to get him involved out of the backfield. So I kind of want to know who is going to end up tasked with the responsibility of covering Austin Eckler if he does end up moving outside and playing a little bit of wide out. Is Devin Bush going to be matched up against them? What is going to be the game plan? Now, Mason Rudolph is expected to start at quarterback for the second consecutive week. A lot of people are asking, are we going to see Dwayne Haskins starts? It still looks like Mike Tomlin is going with Mason Rudolph to get the start. And Mason Rudolph, was a large reason why Pittsburgh lost that game. You had Ray-Ray McCloud open twice. There was one instance when he was open in the end zone when Pittsburgh was inside of the red zone. And it was literally only 4 or 5 yards away from Mason Rudolph. He was wide open, and Mason Rudolph just threw the ball in the dirt. You also had Ray-Ray McCloud, who was open on the crucial third down. And Mason Rudolph for some reason just wants to be a rocket arm and just wanting to just throw power balls all day instead of just trying to throw, slight balls and, just a little bit of touch, but he was just putting a little too much on the football. And I mean, I don't really know if I want to completely judge Mason Rudolph based on that game, because I feel like a lot of people got to understand that Mason Rudolph was kind of put in a tough spot because Big Ben was practicing all week. Then out of nowhere, he started having some COVID-19 symptoms, and then he ended up telling Pittsburgh that he wasn't going to be able to play. He ended up getting ruled out Saturday night, I believe. So imagine Mason Rudolph, probably lying down in a hotel bed. He's probably chilling, probably going over a little bit of the playbooks just in case, just to stay prepared and things like that. Next thing you know, Mike Tomlin rings his phone. Hello? Hey, what's going on, Mason? How you doing tonight? Oh, yeah, I'm doing good. What's up, coach? All right, so check this out, man. So Big Ben having COVID-19. He's not going to be able to play in a couple of hours, so get ready. You're going to be starting against the Detroit Lions. And Mason Rudolph is probably like, okay. And now Mason Rudolph, he's prepared, but he's not really prepared. And on top of that, The weather conditions in that game weren't really all that ideal. There was kind of some problems that rookie center Kendrick Green had with the snap. The snap was kind of high, and those high snaps ended up costing Pittsburgh some field position and a very critical part of the game. But also on top of that, you also had some plays where the wide receivers kind of let him down, like Deontay Johnson. I believe that he played his worst game of the year last week against Detroit. There were some drops at critical moments. Yeah, Mason Rudolph could have put the ball in a better spot, but at the same time, the ball hits your hands. You got to come down with it. You also had that critical fumble in overtime that Deontay Johnson had, not taking care of the football. I understand trying to make a play, but when you're in overtime, you got to understand the situation. You got to understand what point of the game you're at. Okay, like you got the first down. I understand you're trying to make the play, but your number one priority shouldn't be trying to get extra yards. Your number one priority should be protecting the football. Got too loose with the football. Detroit ends up recovering it. Then you also had Pat Freiermuth, who ended up having a similar fate. He ended up fumbling the football. Detroit recovered it. Pretty much that sealed the game. Ended up being a tie. Now, for the Chargers, I've kind of been disappointed with how this defense has performed this year. Like, I expected this defense to be a top 10, top 15 unit. Haven't really seen that out of Brandon Staley, and I'm kind of wondering when this defense is going to start to click. And if this defense struggles against Pittsburgh, then, I'm kind of going to have my eyebrow raised at Brandon Staley like I'm the Rock like this, because, like he's supposed to be a young, innovative, defensive-minded head coach. Pretty much, Chargers fans were selling Brandon Staley to be the defensive version of Sean McVay, and I haven't really seen anything all that innovative. Now, I am going to say that this defense definitely is better than what it was last year, but I don't really know, man. I just expected a lot more out of the Chargers defense this year. You Chargers fans, let me know down below if you're watching this on YouTube, if I'm tripping, or do you also kind of feel a little bit let down by how the defense has performed this year? And as a matter of fact, the Los Angeles Chargers have one of the worst, if not the worst, run defense in the NFL. They're last in the NFL this year in rushing yards per game allowed. They're allowing 155.1 rushing yards per game. When you look at Pittsburgh right now, the heart and soul of this team is Najee Harris. Now, we don't really know the status of Chase Claypool. Don't know if he's going to be able to play in this game. So the two main playmakers for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense are going to be Najee Harris and Deontay Johnson. And the best offensive weapon that they're probably going to have behind Najee Harris is probably going to be Chris Boswell. So if you're the Los Angeles Chargers, I feel like the keys to the game for the Chargers are fairly simple. Don't turn the football over, and make sure that you're able to have a really good day when it comes to the special teams department. Make sure that you're able to put Pittsburgh in situations where they have to drive the length of the field to put some points on the board. And on top of that, for the LA Chargers, you don't want to give this Pittsburgh Steelers defense any added momentum, because once this Pittsburgh Steelers defense gets going, it gets going. Now, Pittsburgh probably won't have TJ Watt playing this game. He left the Detroit Lions game with a hip injury. Nothing really super severe, but he does say that he feels really sore, so we don't really know if he's going to suit up to play in this game or not. But when I look at the LA Chargers, this offensive line has definitely been really good when it comes to protecting Justin Herbert. Definitely leaps and bounds this year compared to what it was last year. So when I look at the Chargers offensively, don't really know what's going to happen with Micah Fitzpatrick. He also was put on the COVID-19/injury reserve list, so don't really know his availability in this game. So for the LA Chargers, I mean, you're going to have some opportunities to try to get some big plays over the top if you're able to catch Pittsburgh lacking. But also for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, I definitely feel like there has been some times when this LA Chargers offense has kind of been a little bit of hot and cold sometimes during certain durations of the game. And Pittsburgh has the third best red zone defense in the NFL this year. That means that you can get all the yards that you want on this Pittsburgh Steelers defense, but once you get inside that 20-yard line, things become incredibly difficult. So when I look at the Los Angeles Chargers, I want to see what they do inside of the red zone. So the team that I'm going to take to win this game, I am going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this game. And I know a lot of Chargers fans are going to be like, JT, the Steelers don't have Big Ben. They just tied with the Detroit Lions, and the Chargers are a 5.5-point favorite. I understand that. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are notoriously known for playing down to competition. And even without Big Ben, they still should have won that game. And on top of that, I feel like Pittsburgh's going to come into this game with a better game plan in terms of how they want to try to utilize Mason Rudolph and make sure he's comfortable, because he kind of was caught off guard. It kind of was a last-minute situation. So I want to see what the game plan is going to be. And on top of that, I don't really trust that Chargers defense. Like, I feel like with the Chargers having the struggles that they have had this year when it comes to stop the run, I feel like this is a game that Pittsburgh could see Najee Harris having the best game of his rookie season so far. I think they could end up having a big day on the ground, taking time off the clock, playing keep away, and being able to score just enough points to slow down the LA Chargers, because even if TJ Watt doesn't play in this game, they still have a lot of talent on this defense. You got Cam Hayward, who has been one of the best interior defensive linemen in the league this year. So I'm going to take the Steelers to get the win here. I think they win this game 14-13 is going to be my final score prediction in this game. I think this game is going to come down to a last-minute field goal, and I think that Pittsburgh is going to end up coming out on top. You guys let me know who you guys have winning this game down in the comment section down below.